Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bible Prophecy and Truth. We are missing.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Johanna.
Hey, Paul and Johanna. Welcome.
We're not missing her for very long, though.
Yeah, we're missing our usual cohort, but she will be here soon, I'm sure. So, welcome.
So, welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great week.
Yeah. Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday.
I know it's Wednesday. I never know.
So we're going to talk about chapter 8 today from Bible Prophecy and Truth. And as usual, the news as it relates to biblical prophecy. So it'll be very interesting live today. So welcome, everyone.
Yes. So would you kindly smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Rumble right now, make sure you are following us on Rumble. Please go to videos.prophecyandtruth.com, videos.prophecyandtruth.com, and sign up for the newsletter. And you can do the videos too, right? Sign up for the videos when they come out. And then make sure you turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any great uploads. And then share this show with everyone you know. Everybody. Yeah. And do it right now. Give it a big thumbs up right now.
Yeah. Thank you, darling. So we will get started. And Annie will be here soon enough.
Yeah, she'll be
I'm sure. So let me do this. So, like I said, chapter 8. And chapter 8
Hey, Jody.
is... Hey, Jody, welcome. Chapter 8 is... basically, what are we waiting for? What's next, right? What's going on in biblical prophecy? We know that, what we've studied is our possibilities of, the modern nations from Daniel 7, the spirits that are in the world, the trumpets may already be blowing. We've looked at prophecy fulfilled by Jesus, other prophecies in the Bible that have been fulfilled. And so this is what we're waiting for right now. What is, and then, we'll talk about what the abomination of desolation is. And, but the first thing really that we're waiting for is the confirmation of the covenant. And I know a lot of people maybe don't really understand what that is. So let me explain what it is. If we go to Genesis chapter 12, this is the covenant. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's this one. No, it's not this one. Well, no, it is this one. Sorry. Yeah. It's in multiple places. So I was just making sure I was in the right one. This is the covenant that God made with Abraham, is that he was going to make a great nation of Abraham's seed. And of course, in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. That's referring to Jesus Christ, of course, not the nation of Israel, but from him, from his seed, will all families of the earth be blessed by Jesus. So this is the covenant. So what does that have to do with prophecy, you say? So if we go to Daniel chapter 9, this is what the confirmation of the covenant is. And this is what a lot of people talk about this, right? He shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. For the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate. So this is the final week of Daniel's 70 weeks. There's a 70-week prophecy, and it's not 70 weeks of days, it's 70 weeks of years that this prophecy is for. The first 483 years, the first 69 weeks were fulfilled when Christ came. And that was after 62 weeks, from the going forth of the commandment, there should be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. That's from the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, Jesus Christ, shall be 7 weeks and 62. So 60 is 60, and 2 plus 7. So we've got 69 of the 70-week prophecy to Christ. And that was obviously fulfilled when Christ was born. So then, but he was cut off. And then, the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. The Romans employed many mercenary armies of different nationalities. So the people of the prince that shall come really does not give us any indication that it's a Roman or a Muslim or a Greek or, any of the nations that were controlled by Rome at that time. Because there were many, many nations that were employed by the Roman armies. So that's, as I've talked about before, I believe, and based on all the other prophecies and everything going on in the world and everything that we see, that is actually a Muslim. The people of the prince that shall come is the prince that shall come will be a Muslim, will be an Arab. So, but there were many Arab mercenaries in the Roman army. So and I'm not saying that's something that I'm saying for absolute certainty, because as I always do, I'm not going to tell you something is a fact until I know it's a fact or until it has come to pass. I believe that this is going to be a Muslim. I'm actually 100% convinced that it's going to be a Muslim, studying the prophecies, studying everything going on in the world. But I can't tell you that's a fact yet because, of course, he hasn't come yet.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people out there saying they know this and they know that.
I know. Well, they're lying to you.
They can't. They can't say that if prophecy hasn't come true.
And that's why I strive to make sure that I'm not one of those people, that I'm only going to give you the facts if it's a fact and speculation if it's speculation. So if you've been in with us for any length of time, you may agree with me that will be a Muslim based on everything that we've studied. But the confirmation of the covenant is this statement here for that last week, the 70th week. And in between the 69th and 70th week, we've got 2,000 years in between, a gap that's happened. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't really understand well. And so I'm going to show you something. If you go to newsletters.bibleprophecyandtruth.com, or on Bible Prophecy and Truth, go to the notes menu and select the newsletters archive. If you go here and then search for praeterism, I've got an article where I actually go through many of the things that happen, many of the things that show us this 2,000-year gap. So it's at the bottom of this article where I basically go through praeterism and their beliefs and how it's literally impossible for their beliefs to be true. But at the bottom of it, I also show this 2,000-year gap in multiple places, because many people see it here in Daniel 9, but they don't realize that it's in other places as well, because we have it in Daniel 9. This is the first 69 weeks, right, up to the birth of Christ. And then there's 2,000 years after Christ is where we're going to see that final 70th week. But we also have it in other places. Like, for example, when Peter was preaching in Acts chapter 2, he said, and because this was the day of Pentecost, and everybody was like, what's going on? All these people are speaking in tongues, they're prophesying, they're doing all these things. And he said, this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. And it shall come to pass in the last days that God, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh. This was the pouring out of the Spirit of God, the Holy Ghost, on all flesh. Because in the Old Testament, remember, there were some people had the Spirit of God. Yeah. Hide that. And here. Hey, Diane.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
So I was talking about the 2,000-year gap. We're talking about the things that we're waiting for. We're talking about what the confirmation of the covenant is, the covenant that God made with Abraham, and the prophecy of the confirmation of the covenant in Daniel 9. And I'm talking about the 2,000-year gap here, where in Acts, Peter spoke about the prophecy of Joel. And it's the thing is, there's a 2,000-year gap here that people, I don't know, I'm sure some people have picked up on it. It's one of the things that I certainly did. When he made that prophecy, it says, I will show wonders in heaven above and signs on the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke, and the sun shall be turned to darkness, the moon into blood, before that great and notable day of the Lord come.
Yeah.
That's one verse to the next verse, a 2,000-year gap. Right? I mean, it shall come to pass that I will pour out my flesh, and I will pour out on those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. 2,000 years later, and I will show wonders in heaven above, because this has not happened yet. But this did. And why do we know that this is what the prophet Joel was prophesying about? Because Peter said so, right? We can't say, well, no, that hasn't happened yet either, because it's part of this prophecy and that hasn't happened. No, Peter said, this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. So we know that the first part of this prophecy has come to pass in that day 2,000 years ago. We also know that this part of the prophecy has not happened yet. There's a 2,000-year gap right there. It's the same 2,000-year gap that we see in Daniel 9, where there's 69 weeks, and then the prophecy of the 70th week, which is what we're waiting for at the confirmation of the covenant. And I'll talk more about what that is, but I wanted to point out this 2,000-year gap that we see in multiple places. We also see this same 2,000-year gap in Revelation 12, where it talks about it's actually a vision that John was shown of a symbolic vision of the birth of Christ and Satan's attempt to kill him. And then it jumps 2,000 years in that prophecy in Revelation 12 as well, where, the man-child that was brought forth was Jesus Christ, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. Well, when's he going to do that? During the 1,000-year reign that hasn't come yet. And her child was caught up to God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness. There's a 2,000-year gap right there. There's another place where we see that.
Wow.
We also see it in Matthew 24, where, he said, see not all these things, there shall not be one less stone left upon another, where he was prophesying about the destruction of the temple, which happened in 70 AD. But then he says, when you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, has not happened yet. That's the same thing that we saw in Daniel 9, right? He'll confirm the covenant and he'll be the abomination of desolation. He says, when you see this, then all these other things are going to happen. There's a 2,000-year gap there in the prophecy. Same thing in Luke chapter 17, the prophecy of the Jews' denial, beating, and murder of Jesus, and then a leap to the end time. It's in multiple places. Daniel 8 as well, where we see the prophecy. Daniel 8 and 11 both talk about what happens after Babylon and after the Medes and the Persians and the Greeks, and how it leads up into the time of the end, at the time of the Antichrist. And we have that same 2,000-year gap in Daniel 8 and Daniel 11, Daniel 2 as well. So there's many, many places that show this same 2,000-year gap that we're looking at right here in Daniel 9. So I hope someone got something out of that. So it's something that I was confused about early on in my studies when I was studying prophecy. It's like, how can this be? How is this possible? There's this 2,000-year gap when it doesn't indicate it, but then it does in many other prophecies in many other places. And I've come to realize, of course, that God wrote prophecy in the same way that he spoke when he was here in the flesh and taught, and that's in parables.
Mm-hmm.
And he did so that those that don't love him won't get it. He doesn't want those that don't love him to understand. And he wrote prophecy in the same way, that if you don't love him and you don't study, just like you won't know the truth if you don't really love the Lord. You can read the Bible, but if you don't love him, if you're not seeking the truth, you won't find the truth. You'll find things that you want to find in there because he wrote it just in that fashion, so that you're seeking excuses, you'll find your excuses in there. You know, that's the way God wrote it on purpose. He wants anyone who does not want to love him, that does not want to acknowledge him, anyone who does not love his truth, he wants them to find an excuse not to deny him, because he doesn't want to bring those people into eternity. And that's what this entire existence that we're living right now is for. It's a test. It's a proving ground to see who is going to come into eternity with God. Mm-hmm. So prophecy was written in that same exact vein. And that's why there's so many prophecy teachers out there teaching just innumerable ways of interpreting these prophecies.
I know.
You know, and there's so many different ones, and it's like, who do you believe? And then, you know,
people are confused because there's so many of them out there.
I know. And there's the main prophecy beliefs of, the 7-year, the 7-year tribulation, and and it's an apocalypse, and all of the things in Revelation are all happening during those 7 years, and all that nonsense came from like the 1800s.
But do you know most people that are watching these videos have never read the Bible?
I know.
And how are they supposed to discern whether they're watching something that's truthful or not?
Exactly.
They listen to their pastors. Nobody reads their Bibles.
Right. And that's why that's the first thing that we promote on this channel is you need to read the Bible for yourself. You need to read it from cover to cover. And, if you're a normal human being, the third, fourth, fifth time full read cover to cover, that's when it really, really starts clicking. You really start putting things together and comprehending. You've got to read it. You've got to study.
Yeah.
And that's why God said, study to show yourself approved, right? Seek and you shall find. If you don't really seek the truth, if you're not even bothering to read the book that God wrote, then do you love him? Do you care? And that's the whole point, is seek and you will find. You've got to seek. You've got to want that truth. Mm-hmm. So the confirmation of the covenant is this final week. And it's what it is. Everybody says it's going to be a peace treaty, right? This is the normal prophecy teacher, false teacher, will say that this is a peace treaty. Now, it might be a peace treaty, but what the confirmation really means is just what we saw in Daniel. Or I'm sorry, in Genesis, Daniel. In Genesis chapter 12, God says, I will make of thee a great nation. Mm-hmm. And he also tells, he gives them the borders and tells them from here to here, this is where the land is going to be. And as part of the promise that God made with Abraham. So this confirmation, when we see the confirmation of the covenant, it's going to be when the world as a whole, because remember, it's going to be with many. right? This evil man, the Antichrist, will confirm the covenant with many for 1 week for that final 7 years. And so when the world as a whole gets together, and whether it's through a peace treaty or whether it's through, the forced two-state solution, which everybody wants to do today, the whole world, except for like 5 nations, wants to force a two-state solution on Israel. But when they do that, either way, if they draw the borders of Israel and give her the right to exist, that is the confirmation of the covenant.
Yeah, we'll know.
Oh, we'll know. We'll see this event, and we'll know exactly that this is what God prophesied when it happens, because they're going to give Israel the right to exist, which is under question across the world today, right? Does Israel even have a right to exist? And they're trying to remove her from maps.
Dumb thing.
I know,
Okay.
but that's where the world's at.
It'd be like, does the United States have the right to exist?
I know.
It's the same. It's a country.
It's silly, but it is, people argue that they don't have a right to exist. And that's really, most of the world today thinks that. So when the world gets together to give her the right to exist, it'll be the UN, it'll be Trump's Board of Peace, it'll be the Abraham Accords, it'll be, multiple Arab nations, the Muslim nations, it'll be multiple countries that get together and sign a treaty or sign some kind of, proclamation declaring that Israel has the right to exist.
For 1 week.
And everybody says that this 1 week will be a peace treaty signed for 7 years, where they're agreed to a 7-year peace treaty. And then of course it'll be up for, re-signing after 7 years, if that's the way they do it. But that wouldn't be unusual, right? Sometimes they'll do these ceasefires and peace treaties for a length of time.
Yeah.
And it's not unusual for them to do that. So
if they sign a treaty, but it's not for 7 years, then we know that that's not the treaty we're looking for.
Well, if the treaty does not give Israel the right to exist, if it's just some kind of ceasefire or something like that, then that's not it. It's going to be borders. Right. It's going to be where they'll confirm her right to exist and draw her borders. That will be the covenant. And that's why a two-state solution really seems like what they're going to do, because they'll be forced to draw the borders of Israel if they create a Palestinian state. Because if they draw Palestinian borders, they got to draw the borders next to it, which would be Israel. So either way, when they draw those borders and give Israel the right to exist, that's the confirmation of the covenant.
Armies.
It's coming soon.
And armies.
Well,
around Jerusalem, right?
What Jesus said in Luke, he said that Jerusalem would be compassed with armies. Then when you see that, then know that the desolation is nigh. Which is in the midst of the week. It was when the desolation will happen.
So let me ask you a question. Why would they, because you don't know, I'm just saying you might have to speculate. Why would they put armies around Jerusalem 3.5 years in to this treaty that they've signed?
Well,
why would they have to do that?
And that's the thing. If they force a two-state solution, they're going to have to put UN or multinational forces in there to force the peace, because the Muslims will never stop attacking the Jews.
So is there a possibility that they put the armies around there in the beginning of the 7?
It could be.
And they're just always there?
When they confirm the covenant for 1 week, that may be when they bring in UN forces.
To force
the peace.
Gaza, because Netanyahu right now is talking to Palestine.
Right. They're trying to
about Hamas.
Yeah.
And they're discussing stuff.
Right. And that's something
So
that I have
maybe-
on my news list to look at later,
Oh.
is that they're actually in talks right now, because, you know, when the Iran war started, everybody forgot about Hamas and Gaza.
I know. They do.
But they're still in talks to try to make some kind of resolution. So I think, you know, we're going to see the confirmation of the covenant very
Yeah.
soon. And by very soon, I mean
Yeah.
within years, right? We're not talking decades. We're talking
Oh,
weeks or
years.
months or years. You know, it's going to
Ah,
happen.
I think
soon.
months,
It's gonna
maybe
happen soon.
months.
Weeks.
Ooh,
I think weeks.
I just
Well,
hope.
I
just
hope so.
I
but
hope.
It could be years still. It still could be a couple of years away.
Because
right?
Trump is warning Iran that he'll obliviate them if they.
I know, but
if they
he's always
try to
blustering, though.
bomb our ships and stuff like that.
I know.
There's always a ceasefire, and then he's going to bomb them, and then a
Mm.
ceasefire, and then he's going to
But
bomb
we have to
them.
remember
You know?
also that Iran really has nothing to do with this. Iran doesn't have anything to do with the covenant.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
borders of Israel being
Yeah.
drawn. They're a deterrent to that, absolutely.
They want to
Where
bomb them out.
Iran and the Shiite regime, and you know, that they've tried to put Shiite regimes around Israel and tried to continually attack her, and because they don't want Israel to be given the right to exist, so they've been a deterrent to this happening for a long time. And that may be one way that where this is connected, is with Trump basically getting rid of the Shiite regime, and some new government coming in there may just change the whole dynamics of the Middle East.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll see. But the confirmation of the covenant is like the thing that we are waiting for right now.
But people won't even know. People who are going to church and being Christians, they won't
Yeah.
even know that this is happening, because a lot of people that I personally know are just,
Oblivious.
well, they're oblivious, and they're
Yeah.
like, I gotta work.
Yeah.
I gotta work.
And a lot of people
Nobody
were
will be
like,
looking.
were like you used to be, right? Before you
I got
understood
laundry to
prophecy, it's
do.
like, I don't need to know all that
Yeah,
stuff.
because you think you're going to be out of here by then.
Yeah,
So,
but then you realize that you're going to be here, and that
Oh,
it's
yeah,
important,
it's
that it's actually quite fascinating
well,
to study the prophecy.
crappy. I'm
Yeah.
going to be here.
Yeah, but this is the thing that will be. It's going to be something we can absolutely say for certain when it happens.
Yeah,
When they
of
draw
course.
those borders and give her the right to exist, that will be the confirmation of the covenant.
Mhm.
And the Jerusalem being compassed with armies, as Jesus said in Luke 21.
Are you going
I'm
to bring
sure.
up the, in the news thing, are you going to bring up the alien thing that was said?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's so important though, because that's really important.
Maybe. It'll remind me when we're doing it.
Okay.
When ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing that we see in Daniel 9, right? It's the overspreading abominations, he shall make it desolate. This is the event in the midst of the week where he's going to cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate. Same thing that we saw in Daniel 11 when we studied this. Remember that this is where this happens,
Mhm.
you know, and they're going to do mischief, and they're going to try to make the confirmation into something that they want it to
Yeah.
be, to try to trick people. But
I can
remember,
see that.
but it shall not prosper because it's not time yet. God
Right.
says no. And then
Mhm.
because it doesn't prosper, his heart will be against the Holy Covenant, and they're going to
Yeah.
have indignation against the Holy Covenant, you know, because it didn't do what they wanted it to,
I can see that.
and they're going to be mad about it.
The way people
You know,
are
this
today.
is it. We're going to see all of this stuff happening. It's just going to be absolutely amazing to watch prophecy
know.
unfolding before our eyes. And so the confirmation of the covenant is
I
that
know.
event that we're waiting for right now.
I just wish it would hurry up and happen.
I know.
I know. And
we're always watching.
Since 2017, I've been like, come on, because Trump declared Jerusalem as the capital. He started the Abraham Accords, and all of this stuff started rolling, but then it's a pause and it's a change, and he's got to get rid of
Iran first and settle that whole thing. That's taken up so much of his mind.
Yeah, and time.
And the thing is, we have to remember God is in control.
Right.
God, why did this not happen in Daniel 11? Because God said no. Right? This hasn't happened yet, but when it does happen, it'll be because God says no. And God said, no, it's not going to happen in 2017. It's not time yet.
Yeah, and there's people that we still have to talk to before that can happen. We want things to kind of slow down so that we can talk to the people that we love and the people that we see all the time.
Yeah, and
talk to more people.
That's the reason why God is delaying.
Yeah.
God is saying no. He's saying it's not time yet because God's waiting until that perfect moment where he can save as many people as possible before destruction comes. And that's why he's waiting. That's why he's grieving at his heart for the wickedness of man on the world today. It's just so evil. And God is grieving at his heart, but he's suffering through that for us. God is suffering for our sakes, grieving at the wickedness, but he's waiting and putting up with it so he can save us. That's how loving and wonderful he is.
Yeah.
So there's a couple other things that people talk about. The confirmation of the covenant is something that people talk about. Even false prophecy teachers will talk about this event because it's an obvious one, but they get things wrong, and they say, well, the temple has to be built first and things like that. Well, the temple does not have to be built first. It certainly does not. The temple will almost certainly be built after the confirmation of the covenant, because that's when they'll be given permission to rebuild the temple.
Sacrifices.
Yeah.
And then when we study Daniel 8, we see that it'll be 8 months after the confirmation of the covenant that the Antichrist himself is going to stand up and begin gathering his power.
So we'll see that.
Yeah, I believe that event will be the one where he declares himself the Mahdi of Islam. And 10 Muslim nations give him their allegiance.
Oh, they're going to be so
as
happy.
The Mahdi. And he creates that 10-horned beast, the fourth beast of Daniel 7 will be created at that time.
They're going to be so happy.
It's weird because he talks about the great falling away, but it just seems like more and more people are talking about God and Christianity, even though they're wrong.
I know.
Yeah, that's
talking about it more. People don't feel like they shouldn't talk about religion.
Yeah, but you know what the problem with that is? It's like people, I forget his name. There's a really popular podcaster that was baptized, and he was just, he's
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand, and he's got this book. Tucker Carlson's promoting his book and everything, and it's Catholic nonsense is all it is. They're talking about God, but it's all nonsense Catholic crap.
It's deception.
Is what it is.
It's deceptive Christianity.
It's the devil working in the world, causing the great falling away. Because as you say, right, we're expecting a falling away. Which
because when the first woe happens, people are going to be blaming God.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And I think we're witnessing the falling away right now, where knowledge of God, knowledge of the truth has died. I mean, there's so many people. They want
Christianity, they just don't want the truth.
Yeah. They don't want to repent. They don't want to cease from sin. They just want a free ticket out of hell, right? That's all they care about. And so, Catholicism and Catholic churchianity, the Protestant Revolution that turned right back around and became a daughter of the Catholic Church again. And, so all of the churches of today all teach the same lies, the same nonsense. And it's all just this easy peasy Catholic churchianity crap. You come to church and, and you're saved. And that's the whole lie of Catholicism, right? Is you're saved by the church. The church is what saves you, according to the Catholics. It's not Jesus Christ. It's the church. And that is a lie from Satan. And it's the same thing with churchianity, Protestant, Baptist, Lutheran, whatever, all of the churches all teach this garbage. And they just come to church and you'll, believe in Jesus and come to church and you're saved. You don't have to repent. You don't have to cease from sin. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to obey Christ.
Well, that's what we were told too, that we just need to be in church.
Yeah.
That was
and that's your salvation. Yeah. And that's a lie from Satan. Yeah.
People think it's a sin that you don't go to church.
Yeah, I know.
And the heathen.
I know. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
But there is a falling away that has happened. And that's exactly what we're witnessing is there's so many people talking about God, but it's a lie. It's the lies of God, the lies of Satan about God that are being spoken.
I think there are people who really are seeking the truth, but they don't know where to go.
I know.
They can read their
problem.
Bibles, but a lot of times you need to be taught. A lot of people just don't know where to turn. They're just.
That's why we got to get them cards out. Just start leaving them everywhere we go.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need any more, by the way?
No, I have a little box of them.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing,
That's
true.
True.
Is we need to help as many people as possible. That's why we always praying for God to bring more people to our channel because, so we can reach more people with the truth instead of the lies. And people are, I can understand how people are so confused.
Yeah.
Because they're watching podcasters galore who are just teaching them nonsense and conflicting stories and how do you know what the truth is? You can study for yourself like I did.
And then a lot of people will just say, well, I don't understand any of this. And there's so many people and I'm confused. And then they fall away.
Yeah.
And they give up on it.
And that's what, I encourage people to read their Bible. But,
of course.
God did send teachers. And God has made me a teacher. Not that I asked for it, but God has made me a teacher. And so I'm here to tell you the truth. And I'm not here because I want to glorify myself or make money or do anything. I'm here because God has called me here. And I'm here to teach you the truth.
You kind of look like Moses. You remind me of him so much. I'll make you a teacher.
Oh.
Well, Johanna asked.
I'm not a very good speaker.
I provided. I volunteered you.
So
yes, you are, Dan. We get a lot of information from you.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. And that's,
it's true.
Praise God. It's all for him and it's all for you and everyone listening. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, when we're talking, since we're in 2 Thessalonians, since what we're talking about is in the midst of the week, we're going to see the abomination of desolation. Well, this is exactly what that is. The abomination of desolation is when the Antichrist sits in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Such a scary.
He's going to claim to be God. That's the abomination of desolation that Jesus mentioned, that, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, this is exactly what that event is.
Jody says, yes, we do. Meaning we do, she agrees. So you do give a lot of information.
No, thank you, Jody.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we see here, right? They will take away the daily sacrifice and place the abomination that maketh desolate, because arms shall stand on his part. He's going to have the 13 nation union. The four beasts of Daniel 7 all become one in Revelation 13, which is 13 nations that he uses for his political and military power. And they will stand on his part, and they will place him there, and he will sit in the temple and claim to be God. Yeah, that's the abomination of desolation. Now, so one thing I wanted to point out too is a lot of people say that the temple cannot be rebuilt because of the mosque that's on the Temple Mount. And one thing I need to put some pictures on this page right here, because I've got lots of pictures that actually show that. And I've got on my, I've got a newsletter.
Jody says she's so thankful for you. Well, we're thankful for you, Jody, and we love you.
So modern Israel and prophecy. No, that's the rabbinic Judaism. Oh yeah, I think I have that on here. I've got some pictures. No, not on this one.
No, where is it?
Oh, where is it?
What are you doing?
I know I've got some pictures on some of my newsletters, so I'm trying to. She's rocking in her rocking chair.
You're in a rocking chair?
I don't know if it's a rocking chair or not, but I'm rocking it.
Jewish feast, the confirmation. Where is my article?
I know.
Oh, well, phooey. I have an article on. I can't remember what it is now. I've written so many. Written so many articles.
Temple.
Yeah, temple. Thank you.
Temple.
So, is the Temple Mount shared?
Temple Mount shared.
The third temple and abomination man. Thank you, honey. That's what I was looking for, because I know I've got some pictures on here. So when we talk about the third temple, this is a really good article to read, because I talk about how it's absolutely going to happen. The third temple. And this is the Temple Mount. And this is the mosque that's on the Temple Mount. This is a thing called the Dome of the Spirits, where some people believe that that's where the actual Holy of Holies was.
Can you zoom up?
Can
you go back up to the?
And then this is a close up of that.
So what is there?
Dome of the Spirits.
What is under there? Where's the Holy of Holies?
Well, they believe that it was on this spot. Maybe underground, or maybe, just in this location.
So what do they do with that now? Do they go in there and pray, or what?
They don't do anything with it. In fact, Muslims don't allow anyone to pray on the Temple Mount unless you're a Muslim, because they actually control it.
Oh, so when you zoom up and go to that next picture, all those people wandering around are Muslims?
Oh no, they could be visitors, because I actually took this picture. I believe this is one of the pictures that I took when I was there visiting Israel, and I actually prayed inside this dome, kind of quickly when I was there. But this. If you look at this, you notice there's a lot of room here. There's plenty of room for them to rebuild the temple.
Oh, they are going to hate that
on this, and they will. They'll hate it.
Is that where King Solomon's castle was, or not?
No, the first and second temples were here, but the castle itself wouldn't have been on this location. No.
Oh.
Yeah. But
where's the wall that people always touch and pray?
The wall is down over. It's on beyond here. It's on the other side, down over there. On that side, I believe. Yeah. You can't see it in this picture. Yeah, but it is on this upper side up
Okay.
here, I think, if I remember right, if I'm looking at it correctly. So we're
right
here
there.
it is right there. Yeah. So here's
'Cause
the
look at
Dome of
all
the
the
Spirit.
people.
Here's the Dome of the Spirits here.
Oh,
Here's
Yeah.
the mosque, and then here's where the wall
There's
is.
a
So
lot
it's
of
definitely up that direction. Yeah.
people at the
And
wall.
Yeah, and sometimes it gets really packed. When I was there wasn't that many people, not nearly, but there was a lot of people there.
So what is it about the wall?
Well,
What
it's
is the
supposed to
wall?
be a section of the original
Temple?
wall of the temple.
Oh.
That's why it's the wall, and so.
And you touched
Yeah.
the wall and prayed there?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. And there were
Is that
two
where
Jews.
Jesus was whipping people?
Yes. It would have been in the from the temple, yeah, when it was here.
She remembers
Yeah.
that. You know, he was beating the crap out of it.
Yeah, when I was praying, I knelt down and I prayed at the wall, and there was a group of Jewish men that formed a little semicircle behind me and were singing some song. It was really cool. Yeah.
How sweet.
Wow.
So anyway,
And then there's the part there. Don't they have like graves or something? They're trying to keep Jesus from coming through there or something?
yeah, through the eastern gate, there's in the Kidron Valley. So I don't think you can see it on these maps at all, but between the Mount of Olives and the Temple Mount is the Kidron Valley, and there's a gate there that's been sealed up. And they sealed it up on purpose because prophecy says that Jesus is going to enter through that gate.
They think
And
they're gonna keep him out.
Yeah, so they sealed up the gate, and they put
right.
a graveyard in front of it to try to stop Jesus from being able to. Now, Jesus will just resurrect all the bodies on the way through.
Yeah.
How is that going to stop
He'll
him?
resurrect all the
And
bodies.
he'll just open the door back up. They can't seal him out.
The dumbest thing. They don't
Yeah.
know. They don't know who my Lord is.
I know.
All
It's
right.
really silly
They don't know.
for them to try to stop him. But
Oh, they're silly.
But I wanted to show you those pictures because there's lots of room for the temple to be rebuilt without tearing down the mosque. So I'm certain that's how it's going to happen, is they're
They're
going
gonna
to
share that
rebuild the temple.
space. They're just
Yeah.
going to demand to
And-
share the space.
And then, when the Antichrist takes over at the abomination of desolation, remember, he's going to stop the sacrifice and oblation. So it's the sacrifice and offerings is what that means. Because when they rebuild the temple, that's what the Jews that don't believe in Jesus are just chomping at the bit to get the temple rebuilt so they can resume animal sacrifices. They cannot resume animal sacrifices without the temple and without all the ritual around it. So they're going to get the temple rebuilt and they're going to resume animal sacrifices. And when the Antichrist takes over, he's going to sit in the temple claiming to be God, and he's going to stop the sacrifices from happening.
Y'all
So
are
I
gonna
wonder
see
what
that.
what the Jews are going to think that want to have their sacrifices.
Well, that's when he's going to start killing all the Jews and Christians when he takes over. And remember, Jesus said, when you see the abomination of desolation, if you're in the area of Judea,
Run.
flee.
Get
Don't even get
out
a
of
change
there.
of clothes, he said. Just run, because
And
when
they
the
don't
Antichrist
know.
sits in the temple claiming to be God, he's going to start wiping out all of the Jews in the area of Judea and Samaria, which is called the West Bank.
Well, he
Yeah.
forewarned them in his word, but they don't love him, so they don't know.
They don't believe in the New Testament, so they don't even read those words. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yet the forewarn was there. It's there.
It's there. He warned them. They have
That is
every
pretty
chance to read it
merciful of him.
and be warned, but
That's pretty
most
gracious.
of them won't read it. Yeah.
The
they
Messianic
don't-
Jews know.
But they won't be doing
Yeah.
sacrificing though.
Right.
No.
Yeah. But it was
But they
gracious, very gracious of him.
Yeah.
And that's why, when he was
They
here,
hate him
he said
and
he
they
came
still-
to fulfill the promise, but the Jews rejected him. And that's why we have
They're the ones that
thank
killed
God.
them.
Yeah.
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 Yes, Doug.
Hi, Douglas.
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 That's correct. 2/3 will die. It tells us in Zechariah
Yes.
that, yeah, and 1/3 will go into the 1,000-year reign, where at least some of the laws and some of the Jewish ritual, what's the word I'm looking for? Just the
Ritual what?
the feasts and things that they do will be resumed during the 1,000-year reign. So, hey, Douglas. And that's absolutely correct. Yes. So we're talking about the confirmation of the covenant, that happening, the abomination of desolation, which is, when the Antichrist sits in the temple claiming to be God, that's when, he shall make it desolate, because he's going to sit in the rebuilt temple and claim to be God himself, which of course is an abomination all on its own.
But
right?
are the Jews going to believe that?
I don't
They
believe
might
the
be-
Jews will. They may be deceived into thinking so, but the Jews, there's a whole different thing about the Jews and their prophecies. And if you're interested, oh no, it's the Mosh.
Well, they're going to have to take the mark too if they want to stay alive.
Oh,
They'll have to pay the
Jewish,
jizya.
Yeah.
Modern
So
Israel
they
and
don't kill
prophecy,
them because they're considered Christians.
yeah.
The Jews are going to be killed.
Right.
And so on this article that I wrote, Modern Israel and Prophecy, which you can find on my newsletters, flat list. This is where I talk about the modern Jewish prophetic understanding that Jews, non-Messianic Jews, believe in this.
What is it again?
It's Modern Israel and Prophecy.
Modern Israel and Prophecy.
Yeah. So if you search for that, you'll find this article
On the news.
Yeah.
On the news.
Yeah, and you can just you can search on the search tool
On the website.
Like you can just go to the search and
Yeah.
put in that, and it'll find it. So, but in this, I talk about the Mashiach, right? They're waiting for the Messiah, right? Because they don't believe in Jesus, and just like the Muslims are waiting with fervor today for the Mahdi, so are the Jews waiting for their Mashiach, where they both believe that their Messiah is alive right now.
So a lot of them are not going to flee like God said.
Right.
No, they're not.
That's why
going to.
2/3 of them are going to die.
But the thing about this is they're not going to be the same man, right? The Mashiach will not be the Mahdi, will not be the Antichrist.
So what
The Mahdi will be the Antichrist. The Mashiach, I believe, will be killed by the Antichrist. And that's just pure speculation, but it is one thing that's believed by those that believe in the Mashiach and what they're waiting for. And there's different prophecies about him dying and things like that. So I really think that there's going to be a separate man who claims to be the Mashiach around the time.
He might be even like doing sacrifices with them and stuff.
He may be.
So him and the Antichrist are going to duke it out, or what?
Well, he's going to be instrumental in rebuilding the temple.
Yes.
So he's going to be part of the group. The Sanhedrin and the Temple Institute are all, they've already got all the pieces and parts built, the blueprints and everything.
Yeah.
They'll slam it up really fast when they get the permission to do so. But the Moshiach will be involved in all of this. And when the Antichrist takes over, he might even make a public example of, killing this guy.
Yeah.
And then Jews will mostly, the Jews that don't believe in Jesus, of course, will not know what's going on. They'll have no idea. They'll see their Mashiach get killed. And they
Oh.
may even be turned by this event to turn to the Mahdi, right, and become Muslims.
Right.
You know, who knows?
Yeah. Out of fear.
They're deceived, and they're just
Yeah.
as susceptible to total deception as everyone is who doesn't believe.
So
in
at
Jesus.
that time, they'll think we were wrong. So
Maybe.
we
Yeah.
might as well be
Give
Muslim
in.
then.
Yeah, so
yeah.
We can stay alive.
it very well could be
Yeah.
the reaction of a
It'll
lot
be
of them.
fear
Yeah.
for them, I
And
think.
fear will be the reason the Antichrist is so successful with his mark, because if you don't bow to him and worship him and take his mark and make an oath to support him and deny Jesus Christ, you'll be killed. And so
Yeah,
fear
he'll
is going
say,
to
you
get.
see what we did to the Mashiach? He's not real.
Yeah, and so he's gonna start killing all the Jews in the area of Judea, and he's gonna hunt down and kill all the Jews and Christians that he can find during his entire 3.5-year reign.
Well, they may
Yeah.
submit too because they don't. I forgot what I was going to say.
They'll take a bunch of them for slaves and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
they'll,
'cause
they'll,
that's what
they'll just
Muslims
go and
do,
start
right?
slaughtering
I
them.
just
yeah.
forgot what I was going to say.
So we're waiting for that.
Mhm.
We're waiting for the
Still
confirmation of the
waiting.
covenant. We're waiting. We know that when that happens, we're going to see the rise of the Antichrist. 8 months later, we're going to see him standing up and probably being the Mahdi of Islam at that time.
Yeah.
And then he will take over the world and actually rule the world in the midst of that, and 3.5 years in after the confirmation. So the
Mhm.
confirmation begins the final 7 years. 3.5 years in, the Antichrist will take over the world and literally become a world dictator.
And he's coming for the West. I'm just telling you
Oh, yeah.
that. He is coming
Yeah.
for the West.
And remember, the Sixth Trumpet War is almost certainly going to happen prior to this event. And it's probably what the Antichrist will use. Honey, I can't.
Oh, one.
You're reading out loud. Thank you. So
I'm trying
anyway.
to read, Douglas.
I got to remember where I was now. So the Sixth Trumpet War will almost certainly be a stepping stone that the Antichrist uses to take over the world. Because after a third part of mankind dies, we're talking 2 to 3 billion people, the world will be clamoring for
For peace.
for a savior.
Savior. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be a shoe-in for him, right? To take over the world and gain acceptance to be a world dictator. I'm going to bring peace. Remember, he comes in the name of peace,
Mm-hmm.
and by peace he shall destroy many, it tells us. So he's going to come in the name of peace to save the world, and the world is going to let him. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. The world will be crying out for peace in that day, and he's going to step up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how do I?
What do
Do
you?
I just remove?
Oh, just click on the thing. Click on the pink part up at the top.
This.
No, the up way at the top. Yeah, click on that, and it'll go away. There you go. So, so we're waiting for the confirmation of the covenant, the rising of the Antichrist, the rule, the taking over of the world of the Antichrist, and that's what begins the Great Tribulation.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's so many false prophecy teachers out there saying that the tribulation is a 7-year period of time, and it's absolute nonsense. Since we're looking at newsletters that I wrote, let's look at another one. If you look for 3.5 years, this is where I show unequivocally, without a doubt, absolute certainty that the reign of the Antichrist and the tribulation are the same thing, and it's a 3.5-year period. There's no question about it. Definitely check that out. if you have not seen that. I've taught on it a few times. I'll probably teach on it again sometime soon. But for now, just definitely check out that article. I've also got a video on it on videos.prophecyandtruth.com. I think I also have it on the 3.5 years. Might be under modern day. Well, I know it's here somewhere. I can never find things when I'm trying to find things on when I'm online.
And you're taking
Now you know how we feel.
Yeah.
All right, I know I have a 3.5 years.
That's because
video.
I take ginkgo biloba.
Well,
Bingo.
it's just because I'm blind. It
Ginkgo.
doesn't have anything to do with my memory. I remember that I have a video. It's just finding it on my
Because his
site.
memory's not bad.
So
at all.
anyway, if you search for 3.5 years, you'll find it.
3 points.
So you search for 3.5, it should come up with that video. We'll see. Oh, it didn't. Videos. There's no 3. I know I have a video of that. Well, anyway, there's the article that shows up there, so you can check out the article. But I know that there's a video that talks about that. I'll see if I can find it. Maybe post it in the comments later if anybody's interested. But the whole point is that the timing of the tribulation is 3.5 years, and there's literally no doubt about that. It tells us that the Antichrist is given power for 42 months in Revelation 13 when he takes over the world. 42 months is exactly 3.5 years. I mean,
that's pretty obvious.
It's just point blank, and there's many references to that same 3.5 year time frame. And yes, all of those are referring to the time of the Antichrist, which is the time of the tribulation. Remember, Jesus said, when you see the abomination of desolation, then shall be great tribulation, because that's when the Antichrist begins to reign. And it's a 3.5 year period. It's going to be a really horrible time. And the time of trouble, that's 3.5 years in Daniel 12, it's that same period of time. It's the same great tribulation that Jesus talks about. And it's the wrath of Satan is what it is, because Satan is cast to the earth having great wrath because he knows that his time is short, that we see in Revelation chapter 12. It's the wrath of Satan that causes the great tribulation, because he's hunting down and killing all of the Jews and Christians that he can, trying to totally wipe us out. And he's going, the scriptures say that he's going to prevail, that he's going to kill a lot of Christians. And so we need to be ready for that. We need to be ready to never, ever, ever renounce Jesus Christ. Never, ever, ever take the mark of the beast when that comes. Because during this time, he's going to implement the mark of the beast. And, he's going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So that's going to be a forced situation, just like they tried to do with the COVID vaccine passport, right? They tried to force it on the world. Well, that was not the mark of the beast, and it won't be the mark of the beast until the beast is in power.
Right.
During that last 3 years, that's when the mark of the beast will be implemented. So it's not going to be before we see the Antichrist rise to power. We will not see the mark of the beast before then. It's going to be during his reign, during that final 3.5 years. And this is why it's great tribulation, because it's great tribulation for God's people. Because Satan's going to be trying to kill us all. And the world is going to, because already the world is being taught to hate the Jews, and Christianity's right behind it, where the war on Christianity is really prevailing today, where Satan is already getting the world to hate us.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
The mark will become mandatory, Douglas. The mark doesn't necessarily become mandatory at the start of the Great Tribulation, but it very well could be, because they've already got mechanisms in place to put something like this in works very quickly. They could implement it very fast.
At the beginning of the 7 years?
But it's at the beginning of the Great Tribulation, which is the beginning of the final 3.5 years during the reign of the Antichrist. And then, and head cut off, right? Because that's how Muslims kill people, is they cut your head off. And there's, in Revelation 20, it tells us that this is going to be a way that Christians are dying during the reign of the Antichrist.
Yeah, they're doing it right now. They're chopping people's heads off.
Yeah.
And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither received his mark, right? It definitely going to be beheading people, which is the Muslim custom. So absolutely. But it may be at the very beginning of the 3.5 years. I hope that it takes a little while to get all this implemented, because I want to have as much time as possible to keep preaching the gospel, until I have to go seriously underground and hide, because I'm not taking the mark, right? So it's, but it is going to be 3.5 years of tribulation. So it's probably going to start fairly quickly. It's like I said, it's something that they can do today. RFID chips, or even RFID tattoos. They could tattoo you with an RFID ink and put a mark on you, which would absolutely meet this. They also have these micro needle patches that I showed a thing of that a few weeks ago, I think, on the micro needle patches, where it actually, what it is it's a patch that has these micro needles that actually goes into your skin, embeds itself in your skin, and it becomes a QR code on your skin. Whoa. Which that could be what they use as well. So
you never know.
But this is what, we're waiting for these events. We know these things are going to happen. They're absolutely going to happen exactly the way God said they would, when he said they would. So 7-year peace treaty, or a forced 2-state solution where they draw the borders of Israel. The Antichrist will then, and of course, then they're going to rebuild the temple. They'll resume animal sacrifices. Then the Antichrist, 8 months in from that, will stand up. Most likely we'll see the Mahdi of Islam rise. We'll certainly see that on the news. And then at the 3.5 year mark is when he teams up with most likely the Pope and takes over the world. So the Pope will be the false prophet. And I'm not saying that absolute certainty. I'm just saying I know it's going to be the Pope. You don't have to believe that. But I've got lots of articles. In fact, for anyone new, if you're new to this channel and you're wondering what I'm talking about, if you go to BibleProphecyandTruth.com and just scroll down to where you see this picture, take a look at that. It might just blow your mind, because it blew my mind to understand all that. But it's most likely going to be the Pope who will be the false prophet, because there's 2 men in Revelation 13. Most people just forget about the false prophet, and all they talk about is the Antichrist. But it's going to be 2 men. And so the false prophet will be doing miracles like pulling fire from the sky to get everyone to believe he's got godly power, and cause the world to worship the Antichrist through these miracles to deceive the world.
See, that still doesn't make any sense to me, because I think, why wouldn't the Antichrist do all that so people believe in him?
To get more.
Use somebody else.
Maybe get Catholics to.
Don't know why, but we do know, like Douglas is saying, that Catholicism is the world's largest religion, followed by Islam. But I want to disagree with you on that. If you go to videos.prophecyandtruth.com, And scroll down just on the front page to where we get to the false prophecies, the false religions. And watch this video on Catholic Muslims will coexist in the end time. And what I talk about in there is that Catholicism preaches interfaithism, but Islam does not believe in interfaith.
No.
Islam
Right.
does not believe that we're all worshiping the same God, they think that we're all worshiping a false God, and that Jesus isn't real, and that, or Jesus isn't a deity anyway. But you have to see how this is. There's no way that Muslims will capitulate and turn Catholic or follow Catholicism. They will never ever do that. Catholicism, on the other hand, believes in interfaithism, and that Muslims will be saved just like we are, as it says in Article 841 of the Catechism, that the Muslims will be saved just like Christians. So because the Pope is going to support the Mahdi, the Catholics of the world will easily just turn Muslim. And it will be a submission of Catholicism to Islam, not a union or merging of them. It will be a submission to Islam from Catholicism. Exactly. Islam says that Jesus was a prophet, was a teacher, was not a deity, was not the Son of God.
He never rose again.
Some of them will say, oh, he was the Messiah, but he wasn't a son of God. Wasn't the Son of God, didn't rise again, died 2,000 years ago. Yeah.
He didn't come back.
So watch that video if you have not seen that before, because it will be a submission of Catholicism to Islam, certainly. And we'll see all that happen. And we're going to watch all these things happen.
I know.
It's going to be absolutely amazing. And then, of course, don't forget, Jesus wins. There's going to be 3.5 years of persecution, but then Jesus comes to save the day. Jesus comes to take over the world. He appears in the clouds of heaven with power and glory, takes those that love him out of the world to be with him in the air, and then pours out his wrath on the world. And then when the wrath is done, he finishes his descent, touches down on the Mount of Olives. The Mount of Olives splits, and there's a great earthquake that goes all the way across the Mediterranean Sea and destroys Rome.
Whew.
And Jesus takes over the world at that point. He speaks a word and wipes out the armies that the Antichrist is bringing. It's just, you can't fight God. It's so funny. They think that they're actually going to fight God and
Can't run from him. That's
prevail.
For sure.
It's like he just speaks a word and wipes them out.
Yeah.
But then we rule and reign with him for 1,000 years as kings and priests. And at the end of the 1,000 years, God is going to remake heaven and earth, and it'll be perfect just as it was before the fall, before sin in the Garden of Eden. And we will be able to live and play in a universe that belongs to us forever. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome. Yeah.
But that's not till after the 1,000 years.
But it'll go by like that. You're going to be a king.
Or a priest or something.
Or a priest.
Yeah.
You're going to be a
So,
priest.
we'll be ruling and reigning with Christ. We'll be ruling and reigning with Christ. That will be so awesome. Yeah.
I don't understand
So
this.
I wonder if we're going to
Tell
be
me your
able
gender
to
was.
like go to heaven and then come back down here and help him out and go up to heaven and then come back down.
Well, remember, heaven
Nice try.
heaven is the entire universe.
Yeah.
Heaven,
Go up,
there's a
come
spiritual
down, go.
realm. There's a spiritual realm, absolutely. But
Well, what I mean is, you said that
is-
we'll reign with him, and I thought, are we just going to be stuck here during that 1,000 years?
Oh,
Are we going to be able to
undoubtedly we
leave
are
now
not
and
going to be.
then?
We're not going to be sad. We're not going to be miserable. We are going to be very happy. And God is not going to make us do something that would make us unhappy. So if you don't want to be a king, you don't have to be a king, I'm sure. If you don't want to be a priest, you don't have to be a priest.
I thought we were genderless. Why do I have to be a king?
You can be a queen.
No, I don't get that though. Seriously, like, why
Mr.
are we
Queen.
kings and priests if we don't have?
So I'm going to ignore that.
Why? Why? That is a
It's really
legitimate
not-
question.
It's really not. Or wait, I don't know why it says that. I mean, it's definitely
That is a
God is
legit.
definitely a he, right?
Okay,
So,
so that means we're
You
all
know,
he's.
but as Paul says, we will neither. There will be neither male nor female. We'll be as the angels. We
I
will be genderless.
know.
Oh,
so-
so
Yeah.
we're not going to be ourselves.
We'll still be ourselves, yes, but there will be neither male nor female. That's what he said. So we're going to have a glorified body. We'll still be us, and it'll still be our body, but it's going to be changed from mortal to immortal, and we'll be glorified.
I
So-
think people do ask that question. So I beg your pardon.
So okay, well, forgive me.
Nobody cares.
I mean,
I care. And so do
So-
you, because you're just like, what if I get stuck here?
no, I just
So-
wanted to know, while he's reigning for that 1,000 years, are we going to have to stay here
If
on
you have
Earth to reign with
access.
him,
I
or
don't
can we
think
now
so.
and then leave?
you can probably go hang out with Jesus in the temple if you want to.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's here on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You can probably leave. I mean, during the 1,000-year
Oh.
reign, it's a question, right? Because when Christ returns, the heavens are going to roll together as a scroll. The stars will fall from the sky. God's not going to remake the heavens until after the 1,000-year reign.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we won't have
Have
wonderful
access.
places to go and relax and do. We're not going to be
Stuck?
miserable during that time. We are going to
No.
be very
we're
happy
going to be in
during that
heavenly
time.
or angelic bodies or whatever.
Yeah.
And what did Douglas say? Female
He said
angel.
female angels are never mentioned. That's true.
Yeah.
And then, well, the New Jerusalem will come down from heaven when God recreates all of heaven and earth. But it won't necessarily float over Israel. It will come down from heaven, and it will be on the earth in the same spot that Jerusalem is now, I would bet. I have heard that the North Pole might be where the Garden of Eden is. But I mean, or the South Pole, because that would be a great place for God to hide it where it would never be found. And the Quran was created by Satan, and he copied the Bible in so many ways
Yes.
with the Quran and his creation of Islam, because he
Peace.
learned how he could not destroy Christianity. And so he created a religion that had so much similarity to the Bible, trying to make a religion that would stick. And it worked, because Islam has grown to 2 billion these days. But back to this. So the end of the story is a happy ending. Very happy ending. We're going to go to be with Christ. We're going to rule and reign with him for 1,000 years. And then we get to go into eternity with him in the new heavens and the new earth, and have the entire universe as our playground.
I'm going to have a pet T-Rex.
Okay.
And a Frenchie.
And a Frenchie.
And a long necker.
Long necker.
What do they call them?
Long necks.
The real long neck.
Yeah, long neck.
Yeah, long neck.
Whatever. I don't know.
Long neck.
Yeah, long necks.
So
Long necker.
Douglas had a question. Doesn't people taking in the wraps? Douglas has a question. Doesn't people taken in the rapture inherit the universe, and people surviving the tribulation inherit the earth? I have no idea where you might get that idea because it's not in the Bible. So, no, I don't believe that is true. We will inherit all things, is what it says. Mm-hmm. We're going to inherit all things. We are going to inherit the heavens and the earth. And we will, as the children of God, it'll be ours forever. So that is, I saw a new heaven, a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Now, this doesn't mean there won't be oceans. There's no more sea of creation where all of the events of the world are coming forth. That the sea of creation is what that's referring to there. And remember this: God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. It's going to be literal bliss.
What the gates have on the diamonds and
the New Jerusalem will be 12 foundations, 12 gates. It'll be covered with gemstones. Yes. It's going to be fabulous. In fact, give me just 1 second.
How come I don't know that?
And I think, well, you've read it.
It means nothing.
So
you do
so
know
the
about
New
that.
Jerusalem. Where did I put that?
Remind me. Yeah. I want to know.
Oh, let me get a video.
Yeah, because it's like every time we go through the Bible and we get to the very, very end, there's nothing ever said about the gemstones and.
So I'm going to play this little video I've had here for a while. I've been planning on playing it.
The Bible says our final home isn't a cloud-filled sky.
Hold on. This is just an AI depiction of what this might look like. But this is the New Jerusalem according to some imagery created by AI. It's just kind of cool. Check it out.
The Bible says our final home isn't a cloud-filled sky. It's a city called the New Jerusalem, descending from heaven, filled with the very presence of God. This isn't a city built by human hands. It's designed by God himself. Its walls shine like jasper, radiant and unbreakable, and the city is made of pure gold, so refined it's described as clear as glass. 12 massive gates stand open, each carved from a single pearl, bearing the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. Never closed, because there is no more danger. The foundations glow with layers of precious stones, reflecting colors no artist could ever recreate. Through the center of the city flows the river of life, clear as crystal, pouring directly from the throne of God and the Lamb. And beside it stands the tree of life, bearing fruit in every season, its leaves bringing healing to the nations. There is no sun, no moon, no night, because God himself is the light, and his glory fills every street, every home, every moment. In the New Jerusalem, there is no death, no fear, no pain, no separation, only peace, purpose, and the unbroken presence of God forever.
Glassy.
This is not a symbol. This is a promise. If you believe this is your future, comment, I will be there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Glassy.
Yeah.
Douglas said glassy.
Well, there's a sea of glass that John saw in his visions, where he saw the saints of God standing on the sea of glass. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's very cool stuff. So that's chapter 8. We've got only about a half an hour left, so I'm going to scream through the news as fast as I can because I've got a few things to talk about.
So can I just talk about the alien thing? That there's word that some agency or something that has to do with the FBI or something are calling all pastors to start preparing their congregations for the fact that aliens are coming.
Yeah.
And it's
I know.
not anything what the Bible describes a reptilian.
I know. It's so ridiculous. And you know what it is? It's just Satan setting up the world
Yeah.
for the fifth
I feel
trumpet.
like the fifth trumpet's coming
because
soon.
that's what is coming soon. That's
Yeah.
another thing that we're watching for, right? We're waiting for the trumpets to blow. We're waiting for the fifth trumpet, which will be something that we will never, ever miss, right? And we talked about that in the last live when we were looking at the trumpets, because that's just, there's no way you would not know the fifth trumpet when it blows.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But the devil's setting up the world to say, oh, it's just aliens. And they're going to die off after 5 months. So they'll say, I know what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, he must have been some bacteria from Earth, killed him
It
off.
was COVID.
And the aliens couldn't take it. And, you know,
like the War of the Worlds.
right. And Satan's setting up the world to not look to the
Yeah.
Bible when the fifth trumpet blows. The first
But
of the
for
three
some
woes.
reason, the people that really love God don't seem to be bothered by them.
No.
I know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we won't be able to be stung by them. They will not hurt
Oh, love
those
Jesus.
sealed by the Spirit of God. Yeah.
Right.
So when is the end of the world? I haven't really shown the earthquakes and things a lot lately. We had a 6.0 in the Philippines. We've had 2,306 earthquakes in the last 7 days. We're well on track for another spike in the number of earthquakes worldwide for the year. We're definitely in the beginning of sorrows, no doubt. We're in the signs. Every single sign that Jesus gave that would herald his coming is happening right now. There's URL to the when is the end of the world. Check it out. There's videos, there's documentation. If you haven't seen that, it's well worth your time. What's going on right now, of course, is Iran. We're waiting to see what happens because of that. We're waiting to see where it all ends, what the world looks like after it's all over. We've talked about how this seems to be Trump's plan. You know, closing the Strait of Hormuz seemed to be what Trump was counting on happening, and he's trying to keep it closed because he's restructuring the whole global oil economy. And so I think that's what he's doing. And, you know, it's going to be over soon, hopefully. So
We'll see.
but Iran, as soon as Trump announced that they were going to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz, Iran struck UAE, an oil export, and trying to see what Iran's trying to do is trying to get everybody involved in this and trying to create chaos and create world war.
Yeah.
Because they want world war. They want it because Satan set up the prophecies of Islam to match the Bible. Satan knows that the sixth trumpet is going to blow. And they think that this world war is going to bring the Mahdi. Well, the war is going to provide a stepping stone for the Antichrist. Yeah, interesting, huh? So they want this war. That's just kick.
Oh, who is
No, you can't share your stream with me.
that?
I'm going to block
Spam.
you. Goodbye. Ban. See ya. Yeah, I don't like people spamming on my lives. Anyway, so that's what Iran is doing. There's a lot about what's going on. Iran, the UAE accuses Iran of attacking an empty oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. They attacked an empty crude oil tanker belonging to the Abu Dhabi state oil firm, an empty oil tanker. And then I've got a picture of it being on fire here. It's a cargo ship ablaze following an Iranian attack. This is a cargo ship, not the oil tanker. They're going all out with everything they got left, trying to make this happen. Trump said, and this was on the 4th, he said that they took some shots at unrelated nations with respect to ship movement, Project Freedom, which he called the escorting of the ships, including a South Korean cargo ship.
Yeah.
And they attacked with these small boats that they have, but they shot down 7 of them, maybe all that they had left. And then the South Korean ship, there's been a few things that they've launched missiles, but they're going all out with everything they got left, trying to make this escalate, and it's not happening. So
that's why I'm thinking it's not going to be months.
Yeah,
No,
I don't think so either. But what's happening right now is that Trump has paused. He's paused the Project Freedom because he says they're resuming talks now. So we'll see. We know that Trump is not going to budge on what he demands of them. So
Nope.
I'm happy to see that. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
he's not going to cave.
I kind of doubt there's
No.
going to be any agreement. So
No.
we'll see. They fired. This is what you were talking about, where Iran violated the ceasefire by firing straight at Americans, which supposedly happened, but CENTCOM denies the claims that missiles were fired at U.S. Navy vessels. No U.S. Navy ships have been struck, they said. So,
Yeah.
and somebody, they're always saying they did stuff they didn't do. So I'm sure it didn't
And Trump's
happen.
like, they better come to a deal or the bombs are going to start flying. It's like, oh,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I doubt that.
And then, of course, I agree with this, right?
Yeah.
The IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, is who is in control of Iran. The president has no power, and that's who Trump is. I don't know if Trump's
It is.
dealing with the president yet, but I know that the president has been speaking out, trying to get a peace deal. But it's the IRGC that runs the country, that is in absolute control of the country. That if
And
you
who are they?
don't,
The military?
yes, yeah, that's the military. If the
need to
military is
take out
who
the
runs the
military.
country, if they don't take out the military,
It's never
it's
going to
never
stop.
going to stop. Right. So that's why I agree with him. Let's play out
All
all
the
the cards. We
generals-
got to take out the IRGC.
All these retired generals like General Jack Keane, and then General Kellogg, they're saying he needs to finish this. He needs to just go and finish this.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He needs to quit playing around with
Yeah,
them
'cause
now,
they're-
because it's getting boring.
Yeah. They're never going to really follow through with a deal, even if they make one.
No,
No.
it's
It's
going
all
to be forced.
deception. It's deception. It's delay. It's what they've always done. Yeah. So I'm totally on board with that.
Mm.
Take out the military. That's the problem.
That's the
That's why the
military, not
people
the
can't.
innocent people.
If they took the military out, the people could actually rise up and take back their country. But
Yeah.
it's the military that's slaughtering
Because
all the people.
As soon as they
Yeah.
start protesting or even try anything, they kill them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they can't do anything right now.
So the UAE says its forces are actively engaging with Iranian drones and missiles. I
Why
mean,
don't we get with somebody on our side to help us to bomb them or something?
I know that's the thing. It's like NATO won't help. They're just
not.
sitting there, It's like
I thought
Yeah,
No wonder.
I mean,
Trump's going to dump them, goodbye.
Well, yeah, he
Yeah.
is. He is.
Like he's
Yeah.
pulling out of Germany, It's
but
like,
now they're saying, if you'd like our help, he should say, yeah, that'd be cool. You could take some of your destroyers and start bombing them. Get rid of their
Or-
military.
go into the strait with them and help escort vessels through. Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
you're done, kick them to the curb.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they've
And give
proven
them a Bible.
they're not allies. They've been sucking off of
No.
us forever, and all they do is use us. They're not our allies.
No.
Yeah.
And especially now, Turkey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get out of there, I say.
Mhm.
So supposedly Mojaba wrote. Nobody knows if he's really alive or not, or if he's actually writing these things. But the bright future of the Persian Gulf region will be a future without America. Yeah, because we're the great Satan.
I don't
right?
really think he's alive.
According to them, I think somebody's pretending to be him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's alive, but I think he's badly injured, and
who knows?
Somebody else is doing all that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think. Yeah, but that's the Iranian attitude, right? That the regime is, we destroy America, destroy Israel. That's their goal. They're our sworn enemy. I'm not sad that we're taking them down. I'm really not. The U.S. will help free up ships in the Strait of Hormuz. And I wanted to show you this. It's a long article. I'm going to show it to you, but I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. But, it's one thing we were talking about is like, why are the gas prices so high in America? Because we don't use that much gas that comes through the Strait of Hormuz. So why is our prices going so high, right? Why is that? And they talk about that. It's 7 to 10% is all. The U.S. does not rely on the Strait of Hormuz for our oil.
I know. So
why are our prices going up? Well, like I said, it's a long article and it goes through a lot of stuff, but it's all about where the gas comes from, what kind of gas it is. Is it the dirty gas or is it the clean gas? Is it because there's different purification levels of the gas you buy, and we're still heavily dependent, as it says, we're intertwined with the global oil market, very much so. So even though the Strait of Hormuz is not affecting us, it's affecting the global oil market. Countries that are running out of oil because of that are buying oil at extremely high prices and that's what's driving the price of oil up, because they're willing to pay these really high prices to get some oil. So in order for us to get it, we got to pay the high price too. So there's lots of reasons, and that's we have the types of oil, light sweet versus heavy sour. I mean, not all crude oil is the same, right? It depends on where it came from and where, how it's refined and all of that.
And it's going to take a little while for them to really start drilling in Venezuela, right?
Right. And to ramp production up in the U.S. and start pushing all of that. Yeah, it takes time.
Start selling it.
So that's the reason. It's a good article. If you're a subscriber to the Epoch Times, you can watch this, or you can read this article. It's a good one. It'll help you understand it a lot. So that's in short the reason.
Yeah.
So American flag ships successfully transited the Strait of Hormuz. So we're not running into mines or anything like that. Good news, right? The Iranian president slams the IRGC on the UAE attack as madness, right? Because he wants peace. But the military runs the country, not him. He doesn't really have any power. Yeah.
Come on.
It's the military that runs Iran. Yeah.
Be done with this.
The U.S. and Israel are planning a short and powerful attack if they don't agree to the new talks.
Well, I'll give them a little tip. They're not going to agree.
Yeah. And you might not attack. So, because he says stuff and then does not follow through sometimes.
I know.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
He's playing chess, y'all.
I think he needs to finish the job and take out the military is what he needs to do. But then the Muslim who plotted the jihad massacre at Taylor Swift concert says, if I am killed as a Muslim, I will go to paradise. And that's what I've been telling you all along, right? They believe that if they die a martyr for Allah, that they'll go to paradise and have 70 virgins for all eternity. And, that's the promise that Satan has given his legions of Muslims. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're all so willing to die, because they think they're going to go to paradise. Yeah. That's the saddest thing is, because they don't believe in Jesus, they're going to burn in hell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sad. It really is. That's what Satan's done. He's deceiving. That's part of the lying wonders of Satan. He's deceiving the world. He's deceiving the Muslims so 100%.
Oh.
And then, in Germany, probably didn't even hear about this. A driver plows into a crowd of people in Germany. Gee, do you think maybe he was doing this for his religion? Yeah, because at the time they were like, well, we don't know what his reasoning was, but when has this ever happened before Islam started running cars into crowds of people, right? I'm sure it's the same reason, because Germany is turning Muslim.
Yeah, it is.
And they're launching a blasphemy investigation into Christian YouTubers who, how dare them say that Islam is violent and anti-Semitic. Islam is violent and hates the Jews.
That.
Hello.
They're launching a blasphemy investigation.
That's just the way people think today. You can't change their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Germany's trying to silence everyone speaking against Islam. Yeah. Yeah. Just protecting its invaders. Wow.
The word is invaders.
I know. It's insane, but that's because Islam has really taken over.
They're even making movies where people are defending other people that commit crimes.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah. Like evil isn't evil anymore. Yeah. It depends on, sometimes evil is justified. That's kind of the way that the world is going these days.
Or they believe that they can change.
Yeah.
And in the movie, they do change, but in real life, they don't.
No. In real life, I've known some really evil people and they've never changed that I know of. Yeah. And these mass murderers and these people that are just evil people. I mean, Jesus can change anyone.
Right.
But without Jesus, they will never change. Yeah.
No, they'll just get worse.
Yeah. And then the oddest thing is that all of a sudden the UK is concerned about anti-Semitism. That's like, what? When did you care? They've been coddling the invaders just like Germany. Why do they all of a sudden have this concern about anti-Semitism? It's just so stupid. All they're doing is playing games. They're pretending to have this concern about anti-Semitism, but it's going to end up being nothing, is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And all it is to try to codify the people and get them to shut up. That's all. That's all they care about. Yeah.
I can't believe that these countries allow people to take over their country.
I know. And all of the people in Europe hate it, but it's because Islam has infiltrated their countries and got Muslims in leadership positions, and they're the ones making the laws now, and the people can't do anything about it now. It's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trump, his comment to Pope Leo was that Iran endangers Catholics. Hello, don't you know, Pope Leo, that they hate Christians and they kill them? Don't you know that? As you're in Armenia, where they're slaughtering Christians, talking about how wonderful the diversity is. It's because he's the head of the snake.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that.
And he's just
This is for show.
promoting. He's just promoting his agenda.
It's just for show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was talking about earlier. It's what
Yeah.
you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Netanyahu
Yes,
meets the Board of Peace officials in Jerusalem,
Yeah.
trying to continue that
What's
initiative.
going on?
The confirmation of the covenant.
Oh,
I
they're
can see
working on
coming
it.
soon.
They're
Yeah.
definitely working on it.
Yeah. So, and then a couple things, this Palestinian photographer who had these fake photos of a Gaza famine was awarded a Pulitzer Prize, even though he was using fake photos and deceiving on purpose to try to make the world think the Gazans were starving.
Yeah.
And he's awarded a Pulitzer Prize. What?
Who gave him the Pulitzer Prize?
Well, the
Pulitzer
people, I don't know.
Where
Whoever
did they
are.
come from?
Yeah, that's like, wow.
Pulitzer people. I don't know where they come from. I don't even know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I
But
mean, I've heard of it.
It's a prize that I've heard about. Yeah. A photography prize. Yeah. It's like, you got to be kidding me. This is how bad the world's gotten. And then Tim Pool posted this. I just had to post it. He says the funniest thing about it is that they'd get executed in Iran for this. So
They sure
you remember
would.
the flotilla that they stopped, where all they had was drugs and paraphernalia, and they have this video of them dancing, with their
Hamas.
things on, and it's like, yeah, they'd get executed in Iran if they tried to do that.
Yeah. As
Yeah,
women.
they
yeah.
would kill them.
Now, if they were 8, that would be fine. But
Yeah.
or boys.
Yeah. And then Texas, Muslim Brotherhood linked Muslim Student Association, literally taking over high schools. A Muslim Student Association
they
that's
have a
linked to the
governor.
Muslim Brotherhood. Imagine that.
Oh, I think they
You know
need
why?
to get rid of.
25 million came across our borders during the Biden regime. The vast majority are Muslim invaders. They're the ones doing all of these things, setting all these things up all
But our
across
country
this
is
country.
allowing them to do it.
Right. That's exactly right. And Texas has a governor. What is he doing? Oh, he's always working on something.
I know, they're not really
I
stopping
don't like
it,
Abbott.
though.
I never liked Abbott.
And look what else
It's
is
just-
happening in Texas. A taxpayer-funded water park has a Muslims-only day. Could you imagine if they tried to have a Christians-only day? How people would scream about that? But it's okay to have a Muslims-only day.
Well, they have
I could
LGBT.
see the devil winning big time
Oh,
here
yeah.
in the world.
Well,
'Cause if
LGBT has
Everyone
a whole
who
month.
does not love God, does not love Jesus, is being fooled by this. And LGBT.
Yeah, it has a whole month.
I know.
So
Yeah, I know. Why should we
mean,
celebrate evil for a whole month? That's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
coming up in June?
I'd like to just stay inside and not
yeah,
be seen during that time.
I know.
Yeah.
And then in France, 7 times restaurant. It's referring to the 7 times that the number of times that a Muslim making the Hajj to Mecca should circle the Kaaba in a counterclockwise circling. That's what that restaurant is for. It's the 7 times. It's a Muslim restaurant in France,
Yeah.
just in their face.
Europe's gone.
Yeah.
But they let them take over.
Yeah, I
They
know.
didn't
I
have
know.
to. They could have just shipped them all back to their own country.
They should have never opened
Uh-huh.
up their borders.
Yeah.
Poland hasn't
They-
opened up their
and
borders.
Italy, I think Italy is letting more of them in.
Yeah.
Well, they're continuing to across Europe. Yeah.
I've known
They're-
people that have
they
gone to
haven't shut
Italy
their
and
borders.
done fine, like had their vacation and came back home and everything
Yeah.
was fine and
They
everything.
just don't go to the
so-
bad areas. Yeah. kind of like you don't go to New York, you don't go to Harlem, right? You don't
The
go
city.
there.
The city.
Now I wouldn't want to go to New York at all.
Well, you could go like northern New York, like close to the border where they have,
probably,
you know, that fall that.
and the Niagara Falls area up there. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that.
Yeah, it's getting worse. It's happening in the United States at an exponential rate to what they've done in Europe. That's why they flooded this country with millions of them, so that they could speed up the process.
Yeah.
The massive Medicaid fraud in Ohio. I mean, we thought Minnesota and California were bad. They're finding it all over the place. 228 companies billing Medicaid as home health care providers, charging taxpayers more than $250 million between 2018 and 2024. You know, another building. That was just one building, right? 94 companies in another building. Oh, that's 7 buildings. Sorry, 7 buildings in this one place, and another building. 94 companies, all Medicaid billing companies. It's like they're ripping us off so bad. All over. I'm sure it's all across the country.
Mm-hmm.
This is just, it's wow. The corruption is so bad. It's just crazy. All right. So a couple of memes and we'll say goodbye. This is just one that, you know, the only one who accepts all religions is Lucifer.
Yeah.
You know, interfaithism is a lie from hell, and literally created in hell by the devil. You know, this idea that we all worship the same God, that, you know, coexist and all that is just Satan. And I believe that a human being is a human being, and we all have the same rights. We all deserve to be saved by Jesus if we just acknowledge him and turn to him in obedience.
Right.
And repent. We all have that same ability to do that. God does not differentiate, but we have to believe in the record he gave us in his word, the record he gave us of his son, and the whole purpose of his coming and being born into this world. If we don't believe that, all of that is nonsense. All of that is just Satan. Interfaith is a lie. I was created to worship Jesus.
Right.
And I'm happy. Praise the name of Jesus. Yes. So, thank you all for being here. Love every one of you. We're only here to help dispel the lies of Satan and to preach the truth. So let me say a prayer real quick and we'll say goodbye. Thank you, Jesus, for all your promises. I can't wait for you to return, Lord. I know things have to happen. Come quickly, Lord. Make them happen. Help us to reach more people. Help us to reach so many more people, Lord. There's so many in darkness. So many that have no hope, Lord. Help us to reach them, Lord, in your name. Amen.
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 Douglas, Johanna, Paul, and Jody. Jody.
Love you all. Appreciate the comments.
Yeah.
And everyone that watches later, we love every one of you.
Love you.
Love you.
Turn the banner back on.
Okay, so if you hear my voice, turn on your notification bell. Okay, I'm jumping ahead. Give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that. On YouTube, go to, if you're on Rumble, please make sure you're following us on Rumble. Turn on the notification bell so you do not miss any great uploads. And share this show with everyone you know. and do it now.
Help us to reach more people.
No.
Yes.
And with that, thank you all. We love you all, and we will see you back here on Sunday. Thank you, Diane. Appreciate you
Jody
as
said-
always.
Amen. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Love you all. Love you too, Jody. Love you, sissy.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you,
Bye.
Diane. Thank you.
Bye.
See you
See you
later.
See
Sunday.
you later.
Bye.
Bye. I got to actually click it.